Hello, my name is Savannah Jameson, and I'm a product trainer for Oxford University Press. It is my pleasure to be here to give you an overview of Oxford Art Online, the gateway to Oxford's art reference works, including Grove Art and the Benezit Dictionary of Artists. I'm going to take you through this product and highlight how your end users can benefit from our unique features and best access its resources by showing you how the site works, how to search for items on the site, and browsing into some content during this training. Oxford Art Online is the home of Grove Art, which is kind of the backbone of the site. Grove Art features comprehensive, peer-reviewed scholarship on art and architecture from prehistory to the present, with entries on artists, architects, craftsmen, patrons, movements, locations, and periods, as well as bibliographies for further research and thousands of searchable images made available through Oxford's partnerships with museums, galleries, and other art organizations. The articles in Grove Art are written and updated by thousands of scholars around the world. Users of Oxford Art Online also have access to the concise Oxford Dictionary of Art Terms, Encyclopedia of Aesthetics, and the Oxford Companion to Western Art. In addition to Grove Art, users also have the option to subscribe to the Benezit Dictionary of Artists, which has become one of the most comprehensive and definitive resources of artists' biographies available. Revered for its broad scope and its excellent coverage of European artists, Benezit's distinguishing features include its entries on obscure artists, historic auction records, and over 11,000 images of artists' signatures, monograms, and stamps of sale. Benezit has diverse coverage and detailed histories of artists' work, making it an essential resource for anyone needing authoritative information on individual artists and the collection, display, and sale of their works. Those who subscribe to both Grove Art and the Benezit Dictionary of Artists are able to cross-search the two resources simultaneously, making Oxford Art Online the preeminent gateway to online art reference resources. Before we move into the content, I want to point out a few helpful links in our support bar, which can be found at the top of the homepage here. Click on About to learn more about Oxford Art Online, the editorial board and recent projects, and the reviews and awards. The news page is where you can go to find out what articles are added with each update and any other news pertinent to Oxford Art Online. The subscribe link is where you can access your subscription information for Grove Art and Benezit. The customer services page is where users can find answers to our most frequently asked questions, get technical support, download MARC records, and access Counter5 reports for your institution. In addition, you can download promotional materials for your institution from this page. This link brings users to our library and resource center, where you can get customizable posters, bookmarks, shelf tags, and more. The Tools and Resources page offers free resources to be used for research and teaching, created by scholars and specialists for Oxford Art Online. These resources include museum collection guides, subject guides to major areas of the field, teaching resources for educators developed in partnership with the Museum of Modern Art, timelines of world art, podcasts and interviews, an audio pronunciation guide, Italian Renaissance learning resources, and abbreviations list. We will come back to look at a few of these more closely towards the end of the training. Lastly, at the very end of the support bar is where a user can log into their personal profile. Anybody at your institution can create a profile. They just need an email and password, and this is where they can store articles, searches, and annotations they want to keep coming back to. If you use a group of articles as assigned materials for a course you teach, you can gather and save them here. Now let's go back to our home page. You can always return to the main page by clicking the Oxford Art Online logo in the top left corner. In the middle of the page, you'll find featured content as well as update information. Scrolling down a bit, there are various links to content that can be found across the site. Lastly, at the bottom of the homepage is the most recent site updates, and if you're interested in signing up for the Oxford RSS feed, you can do so here. The first and perhaps the simplest avenue to start your research is through the browse bar. At the top left of the page, under the Oxford Art Online logo, is the browse bar with 6 main categories: field, medium, era, region, place type, and occupation. You will notice as I click on each one of these, subcategories appear below. Let's start by clicking Browse All, which will literally bring up all content on the entire site alphabetically. Over on the left side are advanced search options. You can modify your search by adding a term and can specify if the term is an author, heading, etc. In addition, you can also filter by format, type, place type, collection, life event, field, medium, era, region or country, occupation, publication date, or availability, which you might notice many are the same category we see across our browse bar. The number in parentheses next to each filter is the number of search results clicking that item will give you. In addition, if there's a small arrow next to a filter, that means there are subcategories that can be viewed by clicking the arrow. The results are sorted alphabetically as a default, but you can also sort by author or editor or publication date. Each result will have the title, online publication date, and collection. Note that the online publication date shows when an article was first published online, not the date of subsequent revisions and updates. Now let's say I want to narrow down this number of results. So rather than browsing all content, I'm going to click into Medium and then Art Markets. The results are organized just the same as when we browsed into all content. There's just less to sort through. I do still have the same filtering options on the left side if I want to narrow my search even further. For now, I'm just going to scroll down a bit and click into Art Market by Bruce Tattersall and Natasha Deegan, which is within the Grove Art collection. At the top of each entry are the options to view the article as a PDF, save, cite, email, or share via social media. On the left side is the table of contents for the article, so we can easily navigate to each section. Images in an article can be opened in a new tab for a larger view. At the top of the page, you'll also notice where you can click from article to images to view all images from the article in one place. As you scroll through the article, any word, sentence, or paragraph that you want to make sure to remember, simply click and highlight the text, and the annotate box appears. Once you click on that, you can make a note up to 500 characters, and then the text will be highlighted yellow anytime you visit the article. The yellow highlighting also appears in the PDF view. All annotations are stored in the person's personal profile. At the bottom of every article is the bibliography, as well as external resources to museum and gallery websites. Next, I'm going to run a quick search. At the top of the page, right next to the browse bar, is our search box. Since I'm currently in a Grove Art article, the quick search defaults to stay in this resource unless I select it to go back to search both Benazit and Grove via the dropdown. I want to view some work from Pablo Picasso, so I'm going to type in his last name, select that we want to search not just Grove Art, but both main dictionaries in Oxford Art Online, and click Enter. There are a few things I want to point out here. First, the results are automatically sorted by relevance, as opposed to alphabetically when we were just browsing. Next, you'll notice on our results page, every instance of Picasso is bolded, which is the site's way of showing you why it thought that particular article was relevant to the search. Lastly, at the top of our results is the option to search for Picasso in the Concise Dictionary of Oxford Art Terms, Encyclopedia of Aesthetics, and Oxford Companion to Western Art. This brings us to a separate results page with articles just in those three resources. If I click into any of the options, it will bring me to that article in Oxford Reference. Subscribers of Oxford Art Online can search and access these three additional Oxford Art Reference titles. Going back to the results for Oxford Art Online, I want to show you the difference between the articles on Picasso in the Benazit versus Grove Art dictionaries. As you can see, this first result is in Benazit, and clicking into it, we see from the table of contents on the left, this article will provide information about exhibitions, holdings, and auction records. Clicking into the Images tab at the top, we see rather than images of Picasso's artwork, we have images of his signature. Going back one more time to the results page, this time let's click into the article from Grove Art. The table of contents shows us this article will provide information about who he was and his particular style of art. Clicking into the Images tab at the top, all images from the article are here, which are primarily photographs of his artwork. Next, I want to circle back to the Tools and Resources page in the support bar that I mentioned towards the beginning of the training. This page has free resources to be used for research and teaching created by scholars and specialists for Oxford Art Online. I want to go into a few of these just so you see the kind of information that is ready at your fingertips. Subject Guides highlights essays, biographies, and images in popular areas of study. There are general overviews as well as specialized guides in a variety of subjects. I'll click into Roman art and architecture as an example. Each guide includes a brief introduction to a popular topic in the visual arts with links to key essays and biographies as well as external resources. Educators are welcome to share links to these guides with students, using them as a starting point for further research and discussion. Going back to our tools and resources, I next want to show you the Museum of Modern Art and Grove Art resources for educators. The units explore artistic developments and movements in their social and historical contexts and are tailored to school curricula, with particular application to visual art, history, and language arts. The first 8 units are organized chronologically around the theme of modern art and ideas, while 3 final units focus on photography, Louis Kahn, and Picasso. Each unit is divided into a series of lessons. These include suggestions for writing, research, and art making activities that encourage students to make connections among the visual arts and other disciplines. Lessons also include suggestions for further reading in Grove Art. Lastly, I want to go back to our tools and resources and go to the timelines of world art. The timelines feature brief summaries of important events in the visual arts. I'm going to click into Europe as an example. And as I scroll through the history, if there is something I want to learn more about, all I have to do is click Read More at the end of the summary, and it brings me directly to the Grove Art article about that topic. That concludes the training demo for Oxford Art Online. I hope you can see that the site is easy to use, fundamental to the research journey, and is a great access point for art reference.